Hello guys, welcome back to another episode of Android application development tutorial. In the previous episode we already learned about how to use a contextual floating options menu. So if you want to select only one item at a time, you can use a contextual floating options menu. But if you want to select multiple items at a time, you have to use a contextual action mode. So if you use a contextual action mode, you can select multiple items at a time. But you can use a contextual action mode for individual views. Also you can a contextual action mode for selecting multiple items, like a list of items in a list view or some images from a grid view, etc. Okay, so in this episode I am going to show you how to use a contextual action mode with an individual view item in Android. So start a new project in Android Studio. So first we have to add some menu items. For that we need some images. Okay, here I use these two images. The first image is for delete button, delete options. The second image is for share option. So I copy these two images, go back to Android Studio. Now go to the drawable folder, right click the drawable folder and select the paste option. Okay, I put these two images in the empty pi folder and select OK. Click OK. Okay, now these two images are available on the drawable empty pi folder. So here in this application I am going to place an image view. So whenever user make a long press on that particular image, here I am going to display the contextual action mode. Okay, so we need another image. So I copy another image and paste it in the drawable folder. I put it in the HTTPI folder. Click OK. Okay, now we have to create a menu. So go to the menu folder, right click the menu folder and create a new menu resource file. I name the file as my menu. Click OK. Now we have to add some items. Here I am going to add two items. First item is for deleting the image, and second item is for share the image. So add the first item using item attribute. First you have to provide an ID for this item. So Android ID plus ID. I name it as ID delete. Okay, now we have to provide a title for this item. So use the Android title attribute and provide some title delete. Okay, now here I am going to provide some icon from drawable folder. It is discard icon. Okay, now here I am going to add one more item. First provide an ID for this item using Android ID attribute. I name it as ID share. Put some title using title attribute share and provide an icon from drawable folder. It is IC action share. Okay, now we have two items. Now go back to the activity main.xml file. Here I am going to put an image view. Put an image view and provide the width as match parent and put a height as 250 dp. Okay, also we need an ID for this image view. So use the Android ID attribute plus ID. I name it as image view. Okay, also provide an image for this image view. using src attribute. Android src, it is available from drawable folder and the image name is photo. Okay, now we have an image available on the image view. He is my brother. Okay, now here I am going to change the background color of this layout into black. Android background, put some black color. Okay, now I have to show the contextual action mode whenever user make a long press on this image. So go back to the main activity.java file. First we have to create an object of image view. I name it as image view. Okay, now I have to initialize this object. So image view equal to find view by id r.id dot image view. Okay, now we have to typecast this one into image view. Now I have to create the contextual action mode. So for displaying a contextual action mode, you have to implement the action mode callback interface. So here I am going to implement the action mode callback interface. Here already an options menu is available. I remove this one. No need of this options menu. So for displaying a contextual action mode, you have to implement the action mode callback interface. So here I am going to implement that interface. Private action mode dot callback. I name it as callback equal to new callback. Okay, so now here we got some callback methods like on create action mode, on prepare action mode, on action item selected, action item clicked, and final one is on destroy action mode. Okay, so in this method on create action mode, we can inflate that particular menu XML file, and the Android system will call this method first on create action mode, and after calling the on create action mode, the Android system will call this method called on prepare action mode, and if user select an option from the action mode, this method will invoke on action item select click. This method will invoke, and if you destroy the action mode, if the action mode is disappear, this method will invoke on destroy action mode. This method will invoke. Okay, so in this method we can inflate that XML menu file. So we need an object of menu inflator. I name it as menu inflator. Use this method get menu inflator. Okay, so by using this menu inflator object, we can inflate that XML file menu inflator dot call the inflate method. So r dot menu dot our menu XML file name is my menu, and the second argument you have to pass an object of action mode, sorry, the menu. Okay, so you can see all these methods are similar to a floating options menu, but here we got another extra argument called action mode. So by using the action mode argument, you can set some title for the contextual action mode, or you can display informations like how many items actually selected by the user, how many items are selected. Okay, so I will show you later. So here we just inflate that particular menu file and we have to return true. Okay, so now we have to display the contextual action mode whenever user make a long press on the image view. So we have to create some on click method for listening to the long click on the image view. So image view dot set this one, set on long click listener. Okay, so if the user make a long click on the image view, this method will invoke. So now here we have to display that particular contextual action mode. So for displaying the contextual action mode, we need an object of action mode. So here I am going to create an object of action mode and name it as action mode. So before going to display the action mode, first we have to check whether the action mode is already running or not. So here I am going to check it out. If the action mode is not equal to null, in that case we have to return false because the action mode is already present. Okay, otherwise we have to create the action mode. So here I am going to create the action mode. You can display the action mode by calling the start action mode method. So action mode equal to, use the activity name main activity dot this dot, call the method called the start action mode, and in this method you have to pass the interface name. Here the interface name is callback, so pass the interface name. Okay, now we have to return true. Now this return statement is no longer needed, remove that one. Okay, so whenever user make a long click on the particular image view, this method will invoke. And if the user select the done button on the action mode, or if the user click the back button, this method will invoke on destroy action mode. So here I have to reset that particular object, so action mode equal to null. Okay, now we can run the application. So now I am going to run this application. Okay, now we have the application available on the virtual device. Now here is the image view. So now I make a long press on this image, the action mode is not appear, there is a mistake. Yeah, here we have a mistake, we made a mistake, we actually inflate that menu file on the on prepare action mode. This is not correct, we have to put all these statement on create action mode method. That is the mistake. So here you have to return true. Here actually we are not do anything, so return false on prepare action mode. That is the mistake. So now I am going to run the application again. Okay, now the application available on the virtual device. So now I am going to make a long press on this image. Now you can see that now the action mode is now available. It contains two items, a delete icon and a share icon. So if you click the done button, the action mode will disappear. So now I again press the image, and if you click the back button, the action mode will disappear. And one important thing, you need to destroy that particular action mode object, otherwise that particular action mode will not appear again. Okay, so that is very important. Now we have to make some actions whenever user select the items from the action mode. So you can use this method called on action item clicked. So there is two options, first one is the delete option and second one is the share option. So here I am going to handle each item. So first we have to get the ID of the item. So if the item dot get item ID equal to r dot id dot, if it is equal to id delete, the user want to delete that particular image. So here I am not going to delete that image, just show some message. So get application context. You really want to delete. Okay, so make the toast, provide some length for the toast. I make it as long. Now finally make the toast visible using show method. Okay, and return true. One more option is there, the share option. Else if item dot get item id equal to r dot id dot, that particular id is id share. Again make a toast. You really want to share. Okay, now we can check the application again. Now I run the application again. Okay, now the application is available on the virtual device. I made a long press on this image. Now the contextual action mode is available. Now select the delete option. You really want to delete it now. Now I select the share option. You really want to share it now. Okay, so one more thing. Here on all these callback method we have an argument of action mode. So by using this argument you can set some title for the action mode, or you can display some informations like how many items are actually selected by the user. So here on this on prepare, here on this method, the method name is on prepare action mode. Here I am going to set some title on the action bar, on the action mode. So you can use the action mode object and call the method called the set title. One item selected. Okay, if you select an item, this title will appear on the action mode. We can check it again, run the application again. Okay, now the application is available on the virtual device. I make a long press. There is a mistake. Here the object name is not action mode, it is mode. Okay, now we can check it again. Okay, so now when I make a long press on this image, here we have a title on the action mode called one item is selected. That is the purpose of this object, action mode object. You can use this object for provide some informations like how many items are selected, or which item is actually selected by the user. So this is how we use the contextual action mode with an individual item. So in the next episode we are going to learn how to use the contextual action mode with some list of items like a list view or a grid view. Thank you for watching. See you in the next episode.